I'm with Colin Bell from AHA Viticulture. We're mid-August, had a beautiful winter, nice and traditional for Margaret River.
The old traditional.
Yes,
Yes.
it's good, isn't it?
Yep.
So we're standing here, we've got some Chardonnay here.
Yep.
And
well, in a normal year, I'd be feeling incompetent, and I probably would have felt a reason to get that. It's sort of cut for climber right now, so it's ready for the machine to come through. But, you know, in the middle of August, the buds would be swelling.
There's no movement at all.
I'd be thinking I'm a long way behind, but yeah, this year has opened up a lot more space.
And I think it's most of the region is in the same sort of boat.
Definitely, yeah. Like I think you mentioned before, maybe a stress block, you might see a little bit of bud burst, but generally when blocks are happy and went into a good dormancy, they're sitting in the longest dormancy I've seen Chardonnay in, maybe for my career in mugs.
That's good, isn't it?
Be close to saying.
Yep.
I expect they'll come out happier than normal and more balanced than normal.
Yep.
I think you see it in other regions where you have really good dormancy. You don't see some of the flightiness in Chardonnay that you see here.
Yep.
So we might see a more behaved Chardonnay this year.
Well, but now the issue will become, if it stays wet, the ground's wet, how do we then manage our vines through that period?
So, I mean, there's a few things. I mean, the part that sort of gets the vineyard manager in is how do I get my machinery in when I want to?
With the least damage.
Well, we've still got to come through and run the climber through here. It's a pretty trafficable block. I'm not too worried about this block. So I've been in a bit of a rush this year with machine passes. I think started probably in July somewhere, Mike, thinking, well, I need to get these machines in and get them out. And I've heard of a couple of guys that have lopped for climber and then not been able to get the climber through the block and then have to go back and lop and pull. So not doing a lot of damage with the tractor. And then probably going into what have you been thinking about over the years? And a lot of operators around here and good growers have been looking at their soil aeration. And this is probably where you see the fruits of that labour, if you've been putting in effort there. So organics that you put into soil and just trying to keep a good aerated network through there, letting the block drain out. A lot of that would be organics addition, I would have thought.
That'd help.
Definitely. So there's that. And then the other one I was thinking too, it's going to burst at some point. We've had a lot of rain. It's going to be a wet, cold soil.
So it's going to be slow, so then we'll probably need to look at some foliar additions with our spray program. But you probably need to think about what you're going to apply, what's going to give you the most protection. So you don't have to keep going back on your vineyard regularly. So you
rain fast.
Yes, and if we do get rainfall events, that you're covered over that period. So,
you know, in the organic programs, it's going to be a lot of activity, which is going to challenge bringing that tractor in and out. So that's going to be difficult because if you're going to put something out, you're going to want to back it up fairly soon. Some of the more conventional programs maybe be thinking, you know, should I use something more rain fast or should it something with a bit of duration?
15, 17 days.
And just try and keep out. I think the phenology will be quite even. Good dormancies
looks like it will
come out quite even, so that might make things a little bit easier, not having, you know, shoots 10 centimetres on the end and just bursting in the crown or on the cane. So that part might be a bit easier, and also nutrition as well. I think some of those earlier sprays, you know, we call it spring fever, but it's generally that our potassium might be good in our soil and level, but at cold soils
it's not take it up. It's not working.
It's not coming up, you know, vines very much work off their own carbs in the early season. So you know, keeping an eye on what's missing. Maybe go back to if you did PDL samples last year, or
see what was low. Then.
Just get a feeling of what was low, because that might get exaggerated.
But I think just a good general NPK would sort of drive you through that period.
Definitely. Anyway. I think that would be a wise choice coming in, or you might get some yellow-looking vines. And you know, I think as you run into flowering, you just want that vine in a happy position. You want it over happy, but you don't want a deficiency running wild through the vineyard.
Anything else to look out for in a wet season? So apart from...
Well, it's the other diseases. So sclerotinia always pops up, catches people out because it's not something we think about. So powdery mildew sprays are always maybe our focus.
Definitely.
But probably looking at some of those diseases that actually like wet conditions more, and it's not... Downy, you know, alternative. There's a few things that pop up, and the hardest one for me over winter that probably plagues me is you know, trunk disease, and we prune in the wet.
And we can't avoid it. It's just the way we roll with it. So
27 days in July were wet. So it's like, well, if you're going to prune in July, you're going to be pruning in the wet. I think a lot of people from other regions turn up and they have a look at what we're doing and think, well, how do you guys get away with it? We probably are getting some trunk disease, but it's just one to try and manage as best you can with big cuts and just be careful on the days. Small cuts, maybe you just do them every day, but watch out for those big cuts. And if you're going to do any reworking, get some paint or some curative on there pretty quick.
You only really need to seal it, so it's that's the main thing.
So
good.
What else is worrying you, Mike?
Or just how we go through that season, and when it's wet and cold, and
Yep.
managing all that. And I think we've covered that pretty well. So
Well, the one bit that normally comes out of a wet season is yield. So
yes, and that's going to be.
I'm not sure the
interesting.
region needs it, but yeah, you never get what you need in agriculture. So yeah, I think maybe managing your yields to, well, your winery's expectations, or if you're, a winery growing
Yep.
vineyard, into what they're expecting in, and watch that quality. Obviously, if you want the yield and you can sell it, that's great.
Yep.
But I don't know, what have we got, 1,000 mils of soil roughly in the profile
We'll
already?
probably have more this year, I think.
Yeah.
We're looking at 1,200 plus, I reckon.
So I would expect, I think last year we were talking about, Haley, you want to have a look at those soil moisture probes or whatever you're using to keep an eye. It's probably not going to be a concern for a little while. But looking at your crop seriously early, it's always cheaper to address it earlier if you think you've got a problem.
Yep.
So maybe probably get out in the vineyard in two senses. Get out and have a look at that, but also there will be a high disease pressure load
Yep.
this year. There will be also some nutritional issues, so monitoring. Get out in your vineyard, spend some time in your vines. I think they'll tell you their story.
Good. Okay. Well, we'll catch up in October.
Yeah.
See how things are looking, and we'll do another.
It'll probably dry out, and everything we said will be right.
Well, we could do last year. We get to September and it stops raining. So.
It would be lovely. I think my pruning crew would appreciate it.
Well, on that note, we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much, Colin.
Good on you, Mike. Good to see you.
Bye.